Hello friends and viewers, welcome to Crimetak in English once again, today I'll be narrating a story related to mysterious deaths in a foreign land. Of course you would have heard and read about the recent mysterious death of a Baloch activist in Canada. Karima Baloch was one of the human rights activists. She had been raising her voice against a lot of issues back in Pakistan, human rights violations, mysterious disappearances, and she was found dead very recently in Canada. And a lot of groups, Pakistani groups in Canada who are on exile, people who have had to leave their country because of political targeting, for raising their voices, have been saying that her death is actually a murder. And even though the police in its investigation has said that there is nothing as of now to suggest that she was killed, but there are groups that are saying that this needs to be investigated thoroughly. Now this comes in wake of a similar mysterious disappearance and a death of a Pakistani journalist few months earlier in another part of the world. That was in Sweden. Baloch journalist by the name of Sajid Hussain, who had left his country, who had left Pakistan back in 2012, was found killed earlier this year in March, and then his body was also found in a river, in the Firis River, and that's where there is some kind of an uncanny resemblance between Karima Baloch's mysterious death and in the manner Sajid Hussain's body was found. Sajid Hussain's body was found from a river, and Karima Baloch's body was found near the water, at a waterfront in Toronto. Now once again, even the police in Sweden had said that there is nothing to suggest that he was murdered, but there were circumstances that were extremely mysterious. And this is when 39-year-old Hussain, who had in 2018 finally got political asylum in Sweden and was settling down with his life there. He had enrolled in a university, the university in Uppsala, which is close to Stockholm, about 60-70 kilometers. And he was traveling from Stockholm to Uppsala. He boarded a train, and this is when he was supposed to reach Uppsala, meet somebody who was supposed to hand him over keys of a house where he was supposed to stay over the next few years, because he had got himself enrolled in the university, not just to study but also as a faculty. And in the same time, all these years, since 2012, when he had left Pakistan because of threats, because his house was attacked in Quetta, then he moved to countries like Dubai, Oman, and finally he got political asylum in 2018, and all this while he continued with his publication that goes by the name of Balochistan Times. This was an online magazine that he started in 2015, and Sajid Hussain was very critical of the Pakistani government, their high-handedness, their human rights violations, and generally in the manner they were dealing with the Baloch crisis in Pakistan for many years. And even though the police once again in Sweden said that there is nothing that suggests that it was a murder, but circumstances in which his body was found still remain extremely mysterious, extremely murky. There are lots of questions that are unanswered. Questions were raised that once he boarded that train, where did he get off, because there is no evidence to suggest that he got off anywhere in the middle of the journey. So where did he really go? There were allegations that it's possible that he was kidnapped and then, sort of killed in a manner, sabotaged the entire scene of crime in a manner that it appears that it was either a suicide or an accident, and nobody really knows till date how he reached the river from where his body was finally found. And it's a mysterious disappearance first, and then a mysterious killing, one can say. And once again, with Karima Baloch's case, it seems a very similar kind of circumstances have emerged. No clear answers on what really happened, what led. Were they unhappy? Did they commit suicide? All that remains unanswered and in the realm of a lot of speculation. And that's the reason why, because there are no clear answers to a lot of these things, that questions are being raised on how did they actually die. Now, coming to the role of Pakistani authorities and why it's being suspected, why it's being said that either ISI, which is the main intelligence agency in Pakistan, could have carried out some kind of a clandestine operation to target them, because these are people who have been extremely critical of the working of not just the Pakistan government, but particularly Pakistani intelligence, Pakistani army, talking about disappearances in that country. And if at all, ISI is behind these operations, it is the beginning of a very, very dangerous period, dangerous era that we can say that we are entering into, because such covert operations, obviously from Pakistan to kill people from their country, to kill activists from their country who've been raising their voices. These are political activists who've got political asylums, they're living in exile. It's a warfare of a very different kind. Now, in both these cases, obviously, still it's not been established whether they were killed, whether they were murdered, but their deaths remain extremely mysterious, and that's the reason why we are discussing this. And political activists from Pakistan, dissident groups from Pakistan have clearly said that killings like these are actually planned, they are not natural deaths, and they are demanding that there should be a wider probe to get to the bottom of the truth on what actually happened. And be it Karima Baloch, which is the recent case, or Pakistani journalist Sajid Hussein's case, which happened earlier this year, obviously questions will be raised and a lot needs to be answered. But this appears, at least prima facie, appears to be a dangerous kind of a beginning if ISI or Pakistan is treading this path, because this could only lead to more complexities, more problems. And if at all, these political activists who are living in these countries, many of them who have got asylum in these countries, if they are being targeted, then these countries need to investigate and look into what's really happening. Once again, not passing any judgments, because we'll wait and watch on what the investigations say. Till now, investigators say that no foul play can be proven, but a lot more needs to be probed. A wider investigation into all aspects probably will make things clear. But the focus from here onwards will obviously be on such covert operations that many intelligence agencies have carried out in the past, and human rights activists from many countries have already started to talk about it. Let's see where this leads to. Till now, we don't have any evidence to prove that they were picked and killed by the ISI, but questions will definitely be asked. We'll wait for clear answers, but till we get them, one can only say that both these deaths remain extremely mysterious, with little answers to what really happened and what led to these deaths. And the fact that two deaths of a similar nature of Baloch activists have taken place in a span of a few months in two different countries, obviously questions will be asked. So this was one story, on very recent events that we've brought to you. As and when there are updates, we'll definitely discuss them here on Crimetak English on mysterious disappearances and deaths of Pakistani human rights activists. Thank you for watching Crimetak in English. We'll be bringing to you more stories related to crime, police, investigations and terror, not just in India but across the world. Thank you for watching Crimetak English.